Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, and Mike Kelly's not here this morning, and we are Real Estate Jerky Daily, where we give you your daily information regarding what's going on in the real estate market and locally here in Modesto, Stanislaus County. All right, and I guess nationwide. We also do a local radio show tomorrow. We'll be on there with Mike and I, and we'll go over a few things. But today, big uh, the two things that are supposed to come out today. The big thing was the PCE. That's personal consumption expenditures, which is Fed's favorite gauge for inflation. And guess what? It came out today. That's right. Here's what it came out at. So if we look at it, it came in most restrained since 2021, which they were expecting, worse than this, of course. But if you look at the headline PCE inflation for December, it increased by only 0.2% and it remained flat at 2.6% year over year, which is in line with the expectations. Core PCE, which is when they take out certain things, the matching the estimates that were so that it increased by 0.2%, and they decreased 0.1% to a 2.9% year over year, coming in below expectations of 3%. So everything's going crazy now because of it. Not really. It's just not really moving anything anymore. I would have to say my biggest thing that I saw today that I actually liked was the fact that pending home sales came in, and pending home sales saw the biggest jump since June of 2020. As you know, and this is all because of mortgage rates going down in December. If you look at pending home sales, it rose 8.3% in December from the previous month, according to the index from the National Association of Realtors. The jump prior to this pending home sales that was the largest was June of 2020, when it rose by 14.9%. Here's my problem with this. All right, so say you're making 120 grand a year, your industry takes a hit, now you're making 60 grand a year. If you go back up to 80 grand, you're still hurting. And that's an increase of what we just talked about. So it's the largest increase in a long time. These are all relative numbers because we have not seen, we went so low a year ago on existing home sales and pending home sales that now any movement up is a huge movement up. And that's just my only take on this whole thing is be careful with these numbers and percentages. I have a book behind me I can grab that says How to Lie with Statistics. I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying these numbers sound really great because we were so low to begin with. And as we keep coming out of this, because last year we're one of the lowest numbers we've seen. That was like the slowest time for most of us from October on. And now I'm not talking 2023, I'm talking 2022. So they're going off of 2022 numbers, and we all know how that was at the end of the year. So be careful with these when we're showing these numbers saying how everything's up so much. 0.2% or 8% of 100, that's only 8 more deals. That's not that many big. It's getting better, but it's not fully there yet. So it's going to take time. I've been reading some stuff today, and I was on the social media, and everybody was talking about where do you think rates are going to be this year? And a lot of people think we're going to be in the low fives by the end of the year. I don't know if we're really going to be there. So be careful with what we're wishing, because if you look at what just happened, consumer spending in the holiday season was huge this year. It's actually up 0.7%, which is more than they thought was going to be. So they're showing strength in the economy because of the consumer spending for the holidays. But as Mike and I were talking about earlier this week on the show, we think that's going to change because a lot of people used buy now, pay later programs, put it on their credit cards. We've seen the largest increase of credit card debt that we've ever seen. And I think it's going to come to a point where it's going to just blow up and we're going to see a huge change. The next thing that we have been talking about is recession. Is there going to be a recession? Not a recession. The leading indicator index that came out this week showed that there's still a potential for a recession. Everybody's thinking we're going to have a soft landing, all this stuff. I really don't know. We've never been here before. Yes, we've been with some downturns. We've been with some other stuff. We've never actually been here where these numbers are right now. So we really don't know. We're all estimating. We have a 50-50 chance of being right or wrong. I'm just saying I'm seeing a huge change in people wanting to get homes. And I was talking to a few other loan officers the other day, and we were saying how we're seeing a lot more of business owners trying to buy, or that have a business trying to buy a home, but they're not reporting on their taxes like they should be reporting on their taxes. And a lot of us go, okay, do bank statement loans, but you need to have 10 to 20% to put down. Most of these people are trying to do it FHA 3%, 3.5%, or conventional with 3% down. Just get in with your loan officer ahead of time and look at those numbers before you do anything else. All right. Online limit. So here's the moral of a lot of stories. Be careful out there. A lot of these companies are starting to do stuff with unlicensed loan officers. I'm not saying this is just what I read today. They're allegedly slapped with employing unlicensed LOs to take applications and do certain things. It's the same way it's always been. You got to be licensed to do that stuff. Right before I came on the show, I was watching a news channel and they were talking about Cal Homes Now. Cal Homes Now is a ballot initiative that's supposedly going to help fix California housing crisis. It talks about how we can build housing and bring down rents and make home ownership affordable for all. I don't know if we're going to bring down rents. The only way to bring down rents is to build a lot more homes. California has the highest housing costs. We know this. It's always been this way, except for Florida. They're right there with us. Over 1 million homes are approved for construction right now, but they've been blocked through lawsuits filed by CEQA. That's the California Environmental Quality Act. This is, and then there's, impact fees and other thousands of dollars stuff on there. So please go check this out. Get back to us what you think. If this is something we should promote on the show, keep promoting our radio show. I want to make sure it's just not a roundabout way that they're trying to get us to do this, and it's going to come back and bite us like rent control and other stuff that people have pushed before. So please check it out. Let me know what you think. Let us know on the Monday show. That's all we ask. And again, Mike will be back on Monday. I know he'll be back on Tuesday. So it'll be me and all by myself. It's not as much fun, not as much banter. You don't get the two old guys on here. And so that's pretty much all we had today. We have two things that came out: pending home sales, which was way up 8.3%, according to them. Surge, as what they would call if I was selling newspapers. And the PCE came in as expected, except for the core came in under what they expected. And you would think right now we're down only like 3 basis points on the mortgages, and the 10-year is still up. It's been going up, like we said, over time. We're at 4.13 on the 10-year, where we were as low as 3.7 something to 3.8. So that is over. A lot of people think rates keep going down. Well, they have gone down. Now they've kind of tricked up a little bit. I'm only talking a little bit, not a huge. So still stay focused on getting people into houses and getting people qualified, because as we talked earlier in the week, you have in April, you have that shared appreciation for some, not for all, because not everybody's going to be into it. And they made those changes on it this year where your parents couldn't have owned a home in the last 7 years. You can't own a home as a first-time home. You have to be a first-time home buyer, which is, you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years. But then you can't have your family have owned a home in the last 7 years. And I think only one person has to be that way on there. So anyway, check it out. Let me know what you think. And again, thanks for being here. We appreciate you being loyal watchers. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't do this. And again, Mike, have a great day, Mike, because I didn't see you here today. You have a great day. We'll be back on Monday, and have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you.